Have you ever wondered what it takes to save a life in the wild? Beneath the vast blue sky of Kruger National Park in South Africa, a leopard cub struggled to survive. His name was Cairo, meaning gift in the local tongue. His mother had just been killed in a brutal attack by a pack of hyenas, leaving him alone with a soft golden coat still lacking the toughness of adulthood. His wide yellow eyes, both curious and wary, constantly scanned for danger. Too young and weak, he stumbled when he tried to run, and though he attempted to hunt mice, lizards, even beetles, his teeth were too dull, his claws too frail, his hunting skills non-existent. Hunger and thirst pressed in, and loneliness settled over him like a heavy blanket. Each dawn, his mewling cries went unanswered. One scorching morning, after days without water, Cairo found a shallow puddle in a dry valley. Driven by desperation, he lowered his head to drink. The stench of hyenas hit his nose too late. From the tall grass, shapes emerged, forming a tightening arc. The cub crouched low, trembling, knowing escape was nearly impossible. Not far away, two American conservationists were surveying the drought's impact on wildlife. Daniel Hayes, a 47-year-old former soldier with sharp gray eyes, had come to Africa after leaving behind a failed life in New York. His companion, Lena Morris, a 39-year-old veterinarian with calm blue eyes, had sought refuge in Africa after losing her daughter in a tragic accident in Chicago. Lena spotted the crisis through her binoculars, a leopard cub cornered by hyenas. Daniel argued they should not interfere with nature, but Alina, moved by compassion and aware of poaching's toll on leopard populations, insisted they act. The debate ended the moment the hyenas lunged. Alina charged with her animal repellent spray, Daniel close behind with a tranquilizer rifle. His first dart dropped the pack leader, sowing confusion. A second hyena lunged at Alina. Daniel threw himself forward, fending it off with the stick, the beast's teeth grazing his sleeve. Alina unleashed the spray, a chemical laced with the scent of adult leopards. The hyenas faltered, unsettled by the phantom presence of a stronger predator. After tense moments, they withdrew, snarling with frustration. Cairo lay exhausted, a wound on his hind leg bleeding lightly, his body gaunt and dehydrated. Alina wrapped him in her jacket, whispering soothing words as they carried him to their vehicle. At the rescue center, veterinarians worked swiftly. Antibiotics, IV fluids, careful monitoring. The cub barely moved, eyes wide with fear, but still clinging to life. The days that followed were the hardest. Though rehydrated, Cairo refused food, slipping into a depression common in orphaned animals. Lena stayed by his side, patient and silent, sometimes reading softly, sometimes just keeping him company. On the third day, he finally accepted a small piece of meat from her hand. It was a turning point. Began to eat, recover, and grow curious about his surroundings again. Daniel, once adamant about non-intervention, found himself visiting often, recording the cub's progress, even speaking to him in low tones. Slowly, an unexpected bond formed. Yet Cairo's future was uncertain. At 4 months old, he had not learned the vital hunting skills usually taught by a mother over more than a year. Returning him to the wild seemed impossible. Complications deepened when budget cuts threatened the rescue center, forcing many animals to be relocated. Around the same time, Daniel received an offer for a prestigious conservation role in California, with better pay and prospects. But something had changed in him. He could not leave. Together, Daniel and Alina decided on a daring path. Pooling their savings, they leased land on the edge of Kruger and founded a small non-profit sanctuary for orphaned leopard cubs. They built a semi-wild reserve, tall grasses, acacia trees, a water pool, and protective walls to keep out larger predators. Cairo became the first resident. Soon, 2 other orphans arrived at Welte, a male and Amara, a female, both victims of poaching. Daniel devised hunting exercises with decoy prey, first simple, then mobile targets mimicking antelope. Alina designed nutrition and enrichment programs to ensure healthy growth and stimulate instincts. Over time, the cubs thrived. A year later, under the African sunset, Daniel and Alina watched from a hill as Cairo, now strong and sleek, led Tay and Amara in a coordinated chase. Pouncing on a decoy antelope with confidence, the frail cub at death's door had become a leader. The sanctuary grew, gaining recognition from conservationists worldwide. Within 2 years, they had rescued 17 cubs. Cairo, patient and calm, became a mentor to newcomers, lying near them silently until they felt safe, then guiding them gently. His behavior was unlike that of wild leopards, marked by empathy forged in hardship. On his 3rd birthday, experts recommended giving Cairo a chance to return to nature. With heavy hearts, Daniel and Alina agreed. Fitted with a GPS collar, he was released into a protected region of Kruger. At first, he moved cautiously, surviving on small prey. Weeks later, he brought down his first antelope. Months later, cameras captured him alongside a female leopard. A year after release, word came that the female had birthed 3 cubs, with Cairo still nearby, unusually present for a male. Researchers speculated his unique upbringing shaped new behaviors. Daniel and Alina never approached him again. But sometimes through binoculars, they glimpsed his familiar silhouette moving through the golden savanna. They smiled, knowing he was not just surviving but thriving. Their sanctuary expanded, their methods studied and replicated. But no matter how many cubs they saved, Cairo remained special, not just the first, but the one who changed their lives. For Daniel, he proved that in a world scarred by human exploitation, sometimes intervention was not interference, but restoration. For Alina, he showed that saving one life could ripple outward, strengthening an entire species. Cairo's journey became a symbol of resilience and hope. As the sun set over Kruger, a mature leopard stood tall on a rocky outcrop, his golden eyes gleaming with strength. Once a trembling cub surrounded by death, now a survivor, a leader, and a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild.